Hi, my name is Leah Lepore. I'm going to be a junior studying biochemistry, and I currently work for Shift Pharmaceuticals here at Mizzou under Dr. Chris Larson. So we are working on a gene therapy for the disease called Charcot-Marie-Tooth type 1A. It's caused by the overexpression of a peripheral myelin protein in our peripheral nervous system. There's essentially an extra copy of the gene, and that ends up producing more protein, and this causes inability to balance, limited dexterity. It's not necessarily going to kill you, but it's definitely going to lead to a diminished quality of life. So what we are doing to combat this overexpression of protein is using these synthetic nucleotides called antisense oligonucleotides, and these synthetically bind to the pre-mRNA. So we have our DNA, it's transcribed into mRNA and then further translated into protein. So we're pretty much targeting it at the mRNA level to silence a portion of the pre-mRNA, so it essentially codes for less protein being translated. So kind of throughout my tenure working in the Larson lab has kind of been a little bit different depending on kind of the experiment that we're doing currently. I mean, sometimes we have a humanized mouse model, so we do behavioral testing on the mouse model. So there were times where I would be assisting in that and doing the behavioral testing to help assist in that portion. But there were some times where you were genotyping or, looking at the actual mRNA expression. So you were doing more like bench work in that sense and, running gels, or we've just started doing like a different type of polymerase chain reaction and looking at actual like concentrations of our drug in samples. So that's a whole nother technique. So it's been great because I've learned so many different things throughout my tenure and like when I've been here. So it's been really great that we're able to like switch it up with what I'm doing, also like done cells and like transfections in cells. And then it really just depends. But I think I've gotten a really great kind of across the board exposure to so many different techniques and experiments. So that's been really great. So I was interested in this lab particularly because I saw the translation between, what we were doing in research and medicine for one, but also what I was doing in my classes and what I would see in the lab. Though I didn't know this coming in, there was a lot of kind of areas that were very interdisciplinary to kind of be complementary to what I want to do when I'm older and kind of what I am studying currently. So I found that this was the great intersection of them all. I would say first getting involved in research was a little bit of a intimidating feat. I mean, it was in the more era of COVID, so, a lot of labs weren't looking to take up people at the time, but successfully I was able to just get in contact with a bunch of PIs in my department and even not in my department, and through people found a certain lab, worked there for a semester, and then actually found an opportunity to come to the lab that I'm currently in through a master's graduate. So again, you never know where you'll end up, but I'm really glad that I ended up in the lab that I did. But yeah, I think it is really important for someone to get involved in research because I think it is single-handedly one of the coolest things you can do on campus to be a part of a project that ultimately is bigger than yourself. You get to kind of make an impact, no matter small or large or anything in between, on something that, transcends what you're studying in your classes day to day. And like, you get to see that sometimes come through in what you're doing. And I think that is the most incredible thing of participating in research as an undergrad. I was presenting at the summer forum last week, and I had someone come up to me and they were like, hey, someone I know has Charcot-Marie-Tooth, and what are you doing? And honestly right there, like, that is the moment that you're meeting someone who has a family member that is affected by this disease, and and it's just an incredible feeling to know that what you're doing is actually going to single-handedly have an effect on human lives. And I think that is the drive to want to do something like this, and also the drive to kind of do something in the career where you're getting to see something have an effect in someone's life positively. So I have presented a couple times. I presented at the Show Me Research Day here, the College of Vet Med's Research Day, and also most recently at the Summer Forum here, and those have been awesome experiences. I absolutely love communicating research. It's probably one of my favorite parts of doing research, just because you get to, tell everyone what you've been doing and also see what else is being done around campus. And also just gone to some like virtual fairs, like conferences, and, you know, learned about kind of cutting edge research in the field, as well as, you know, vendor fairs, learning about what new kind of techniques are being up and coming for research. They've all been really interesting.
Everyone's like, research is hard.
What I've taken away from doing research here and kind of just in general has been almost translatable to life, that again, it's not necessarily going to be a linear process. You're gonna run into problems, but honestly, it's how you overcome them, and that feeling when you do get the results. Like, I will take away that success, like that feeling of success when you finally are, you know, getting on the right track, when you've been kind of, you know, hitting setbacks. I think that is something that you can only get when you are, you know, kind of hands-on with your research and really working to solve problems, but also just so much like communication tactics and stuff like that. Like, you know, presenting research to my whole lab, I know that I'm definitely not the smartest one in the room, but, you know, when I'm presenting this paper to my whole lab, you know, I'm learning so much about, not necessarily, in a sense, you're not able to maybe understand every single thing in the paper, but just how to communicate that sort of research where it's someone else's writing and, you know, you're just trying to kind of explain those results has been, you know, kind of intangible. So if you're looking to get involved in research at Mizzou, I would say just honestly contact as many people as you can, and don't be afraid of like reaching out and also advocating for yourself, because, you know yourself, you know what you have to bring to the table, and you know, advocating for yourself and reaching out is honestly the way you can get incredible experiences and have so much appreciation when something does come up and you're able to do it.